Welcome back, everybody, to episode 54 of the Next Generation of Superstars podcast. We are very grateful and fortunate to have Anthony Alexander Jr. here, who is actually going to compete in track and field at Iowa Central this upcoming year. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Awesome. We're happy to have you here. We haven't had a podcast in actually a couple of months as our team's been really busy with things on our end. So excited to get this back up and running. Tell us a little bit more about your story, Anthony. How did you get started with your sport of track and field, and where did you really find the love for that sport?
So basically, before I started track and field, I used to play basketball. I played basketball for a while. I trained all the time. And later in high school, I realized I'm not the right height to make the NBA. The average NBA player is 6.
That's awesome. I love it. And kind of tell us a little bit more about what's kind of been the support from your family, your friends, even your peers and teammates as you've really progressed through the sport. Yep. And yeah, 100%. And has there been any other memorable moments? Like if you reflect, back in your career so far, like what other memorable moments kind of stick out the most to you as you look back so far? Yeah. Yeah. Wow. It's incredible. It's unreal. That's something that you'll cherish for a long time. Because looking back on that and making that mark on an accomplishment at that scale is incredible. And especially be able to go to the next level, at Iowa Central this upcoming year to be able to carry that momentum forward. Has there been any specific coaches or mentors or people that have really made a huge impact in kind of guiding you through your career so far with track and field at the high school level? Yeah, unreal. And it's that type of mentorship and guidance that you know makes a huge impact in helping you transcend that through your career and to be able to really make a huge impact on the field, right, and be able to compete on track and field in that type of way. So that's incredible. And kind of going further into what's been a huge shift in momentum with name, image, and likeness. These past couple years. Now it's been 3 years. It's still been a short period of time. And how is that? I know you're also a creator as well, and on social media as an athlete creator. How has that affected you, in a positive way of actually being able to take full ownership and control of your name, image, and likeness? 100%, 100%. And I know that before we launch this episode just now, we were speaking about one of your exciting commercials and deals upcoming with Nike. So do you want to talk a little bit about that with our audience right now? 100%. And I think another thing too is that you're setting yourself up for even after your athletic career, right? And we've talked about this previously too. Like everything that you're doing now within your career, your sport, and actually being able to take ownership and do all these brand deals and really just have control of your brand and be your own business owner. You're able to now transcend that even after your athletic career because everyone knows they're going to have their last playing day in their respective sport. Now you've actually built that foundation where you can benefit from long term. And I think that's what's really special for student athletes like yourself that's actually, experiencing firsthand this whole new era of sports, of NIL, and to actually be able to take full advantage of that. And I would say, like, talk to us a little bit, Ant, like, what is that fan engagement and how do you really interact with your community of fans that you've developed over these past few years? 100%. 100%. And has there been, instances where, you've seen trends that have really engaged the most with specific fans? Like, what has it been something with, like, whether it's your sport, has it been more of like, maybe it's like people want to see more of a day in the life of what it looks like just being a student athlete? Has there been anything specific that's really, allowed you to engage the most with your fans? 100%. It's unreal. That's incredible. Well, it's awesome just to be able to see that you have that community that you've built, right? That does engage and likes to just really hear the authentic you, right? And I think that's what's so incredible and special is that people are really out there that really want to engage and see more behind the scenes, see more of what's going on in your world. Being a student athlete, because as you know, your time is limited, and you have your academics and your sport and everything else in between, and to be able to still make that time to have that interaction, it allows for a stronger connection and bond, and for people that really follow along your journey. Where do you see right now, Anna, as you go into your first year of college? If you have any aspiring goals you want to achieve, whether it's in your sport or even in the business world now, being within the NIL space, what are some of the things you have on your radar right now? 100%. I love it. I love it. And to be able to see, student athletes like yourself, and it's really aspiring for more than just your sport, right? You talked about how you want to, actually get more brand deals and work with local restaurants and then everything else in the community, as well as within real estate, get more income coming in. Is there anything specific as you go into Iowa Central? Is there anything you want to do with maybe giving back to like the youth or your community? Anything that you had on that within your mind? For sure. Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely, and I hope everyone in our audience, definitely takes note of that because you've been, living proof and of someone that's successfully done that, and especially as you got to the caliber of even working with Nike in your recent deal, right? So just being able to do stuff like that really gives motivation, hope to the athletes and other people that look up to you as a role model, as a mentor, even to the youth, right? To be able to see that, that you can actually go and do this, right? If you go and take these action steps, you can get that result of working with the types of leaders and business people you want to succeed and work with alongside. I would say as we wrap up our episode, Ant, we always do this question. It is, what are three pieces of advice you would give to the next generation looking up to you? Yep. Absolutely. I love it. And just to kind of repeat that, and for our audience that's listening in, is, number one, you should just put the work in, right? Being disciplined, staying focused on that. The second one, kind of falling in tune with that, is really focus on yourself, right? Kind of like what your coach said, is staying in your own lane, head down, tunnel vision, just staying focused on what you have in front of you. And then you said the third thing is prioritizing your time. And I think student athletes like yourself are great examples of individuals that really have that balance with time and knowing that, like, okay, here's time set aside where you have to focus on your schoolwork. Here's stuff to focus on your sport, social life, family, friends, etc. Even time for yourself. Just really being able to prioritize and compartmentalize that time that you have within a day, right? We all have the same 24 hours, but being able to make the most out of that 24 hours is essential to seeing that success. So we want to thank you, Anthony, for being on our episode and show of the next generation of superstars. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody, and everyone. Stay tuned to Ant in his upcoming season at Iowa Central. Go follow him all over social media. Engage with him as he puts out phenomenal content as an athlete creator. Once again, thank you, Ant Edwards, for being on our show today.